How's it going, guys? In this video I'm going to teach you how to play Jesus Paid It All. I'm doing the Christian Stanfill version, which it does live. I think it's on YouTube. So I'm going to start by showing you the chords that I use for the verse and the chorus, and then I'll show you the riff. All right, and also the bridge part. I think there's a bridge part there. All right, so we are in the key of B. We're using G chord shapes with the capo on the 4th fret. I think this is the key that he does it on. Okay, so for the 4 or 5 chords that we're using, I think for most of the time we're gonna keep our ring finger on the 3rd fret, B string, and our pinky on the 3rd fret, high E string. So for the G chord, we're gonna put our middle finger on our bass note, 3rd fret, low E string. And what I'm doing here is I'm just floating my index finger and I'm muting the A string with the flesh of my middle finger. Now you could put your index finger down, just like how you would for a regular G chord. But I kind of like the sound of this one better, just less bass notes. And also it will help transition to the next chord later on. So that's ringing, that's muted, that's ringing, 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 ringing. So that's our first chord. And by the way, for this, we're gonna keep our thumb floating right here too, because we're gonna be using it to mute that low E string for the other chords. And then it goes to a D chord on that verse after the G chord. So for the D chord, and this is why I like to just float my index finger, you basically just move your index finger down on the 2nd fret G string and lift up your middle finger, and at the same time touch the low E string with the flesh of your thumb to mute it. So muting that low E string is going to give you some freedom on the amount of energy that you're going to use for strumming. Right? You don't have to be so careful not to hit that low E string. It doesn't really matter, even if you're swinging your right hand or your strumming hand, because this is muted anyways. So in general, your bass note is the D string for the D chord, but it's okay if you hit the A string, because that's part of the chord anyways. So see how when I put my index finger down and lift up my middle finger, I also mute the low E string. So that might be something that you want to practice. When I mute it, I'm just touching it. I'm not really pressing down, right? If you press down, it's going to ring out. Just make sure you're just slightly touching it so it doesn't ring out. Back to G, and then we have an E minor. So for that one, it's just index finger on the 2nd fret A string. Now you might end up muting the D string, and that's okay. I actually mute mine. Right, so it's not ringing again. I'm muting it with the flesh of my index finger. And the low E string, that's your bass note, so it's gonna ring out. So don't mute that. It's muted. You can let it ring out if you want to. And then lastly, we have a C add 9. So again, you could put your index finger down here for just the regular C add 9 chord if you want, but I'm just moving one finger at a time here. So for that C add 9, I just move my middle finger onto that C bass note, 3rd fret A string, and again with the flesh of my middle finger, I'm muting the string underneath. And if it does ring out, it's fine. It's just it's the 9 anyways. It's part of the C add 9 chord. And if the low E string rings out, that's fine, but you can also mute it with your thumb. So you got so those are the main chords. We do have an A minor, I think. Yeah, an A minor chord during the riff. So I'll just show it to you now. We're gonna keep these two fingers here. So generally you would play this for the A minor 7. So that's our chord, but we're gonna keep this note here. And what we're gonna do instead is just put our index finger again here on the 2nd fret D string. But you wanna mute the low E string though, just to get the right sound. So this is the chord that we're gonna use. So instead of the minor 3rd, we're gonna use the 4th for this A minor 7, I guess 11 now. So anyways, just use this chord instead. We'll go back to this in a second, but let me show you how to use those first 4 chords that I showed you during the verse. And I hear the Savior say, thy strength indeed is small. So what I'm doing here, I'm just doing downstrokes. Down, 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 right? And I hear, that's where you do the first downstroke. And I hear the Savior say, thy strength. So switching onto the next chord, the D chord, on the word strength. Hear the Savior say, thy strength indeed is small. Back to G on small. Small, child of weak. Okay, so on weakness, for E minor. Weakness, watch and pray. C on that pray. Pray, find in me. So G on me. Me, thine all in all. Find in me, thine all in all. Okay, so again. And I hear the Savior say, thy strength indeed is small. Child of weakness, watch and pray. Find in me, thine all in all. 'Cause Jesus paid it all. So E minor on that all for chorus. All to him I owe. Sin had left a crimson stain. He washed it white as snow. Alright, so those chords get you the right sound, and most of the time you're really just moving one finger when you switch to a new chord, plus either muting or not muting that low E string. Okay, so let's talk about this riff. This is what you play for the intro, in between the verses, and also for the bridge part. So you can think of it as just the bass notes moving up and down between 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do. Okay, so it's basically going, if I'm just gonna play the bass notes. Right, so 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 2, 3, 3, 1. Right, so the 3 is kind of like a step note going into the other notes. So 1, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 1, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so once you get familiar with that, then you can just kind of put down your other fingers. We're really going G, right, we're switching bass note there. Now the trick here is that you're going to be strumming and adding the other strings. So this is kind of where the muting comes in, because when you're when you're going to that 3, for example, you really want to mute the low E string, because if you don't, it's gonna sound like this. Right? It doesn't really sound right. There, I'm muting it. Right? Actually, even when you can just keep it here on the 2nd fret and mute it, because when you put your middle finger to play that bass note for the G, yeah, it still works. Alright, when you go to the 2, that's really the A minor. So make sure you put your index finger on the 2nd fret D string. So G, C, A minor, C. Alright, let me do that slowly. Step note, C, step. Alright, there's that switch between this G over B to A minor, and really all you're moving is the index finger. And again, the whole time I'm muting the low E string with my thumb. Now, you also use this during the bridge. So you kind of have to practice playing it where you don't have to think about it, so that you can also sing over it. Oh, praise the one who paid my debt and raised this life up from the dead. Oh, praise the one who paid my debt and raised this life up from the dead. Alright, it's too high for me, but I just wanted to show you. Alright, so that's really it. After that one, after the bridge, you could go back to the chorus, or you could go back to another verse. It's really up to you. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to subscribe and click that bell to receive notification whenever I post a new one. And let me know again below if you have any suggestions. Bye!